Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Today. Corey Erdman here with you. It is time to talk some fantasy basketball, so we have solicited the help of Mr. Brandon C. Williams. Brandon, how are you doing?
I am doing outstanding today. How about yourself?
Not too bad. We have a very Timberwolves-heavy show as we're going to go through some of the topics here. Let's start with Mo Williams, the guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shot 10 of 16 from the field, a double-double against the Pacers, and he continues to fill in pretty well with Ricky Rubio out of the lineup, and it looks like Rubio is going to be probably another 2 weeks before he can have contact and practice. Do you hang on to Mo on your fantasy squad until then?
Oh, I certainly believe you should. You know, 24 points, 10 assists on Sunday night in the loss to Indiana. You know, and for about 4 weeks, he is definitely a guy that you want to grab. He's currently owned in 24% of poll leagues, has upside. And like you said, you know, it's going to be a couple of weeks before Rubio even gets into contact. So you're looking at least maybe mid-January at the absolute earliest for Rubio to come back. Williams has got 3 good opportunities on the road this week. They're at Cleveland on Tuesday night, then shortly after the Christmas break, they're at Denver on Friday night, and then at Golden State on Saturday night. So those last 2 games are definitely going to provide some opportunity for Williams to put up some good numbers. And like I said, you know, it's a Timberwolves themed show, so yeah, I'm sure we'll certainly talk about one of the guys who will benefit greatly from that.
Well, let's talk about one of his former teammates real quick, Corey Brewer, who heads to Houston. And in Minnesota, it was kind of expected that he was going to be that energy guy coming off the bench, play a little bit of defense, you know, just in general be in a complementary role. But he never found a role that was particularly defined there. Do you think he's going to find that in Houston, and can he be a fantasy asset as a result?
No, he's not going to be much of a fantasy asset in Houston. He's going to be backing up both Trevor Ariza and James Harden. Ariza, you know, is firmly entrenched in that 3 spot. Harden obviously is an all-star, an MVP candidate as well. He's at 28% ownership, and yet obviously he's going to fall. The only way you're going to see Brewer develop any kind of value in Houston is if either Ariza or Harden go out for a significant amount of time.
Now, Shabazz Muhammad is getting lots of opportunity in Minnesota right now. And you look at what he's done over the past 7 games. He's averaging 18.9 points and 4 rebounds. And he's doing just a little bit across the board, helping fantasy owners out basically everywhere. The Wolves, they took a lot of flack for drafting him when they did, but seems to be paying off for them right now.
Oh, and certainly, you know, and in this stretch, you know, even goes further than that. You know, he's got 9 straight games of double-digit scoring, and like I said, you know, in the last 4 games, he's averaging, you know, more than 20 points per game. So he's got his average up to 13.2 points per game. And again, you know, with Brewer gone and Ricky Rubio out, you know, someone's got to score in Minnesota, and Muhammad has certainly taken the opportunity to make the most of that situation. On Friday night, we saw that, you know, he can be more than just a scorer. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So he's got an opportunity to fill other categories as well besides the scoring. Right now, he's climbing up the charts real fast. 42% of leagues and climbing. And now with Corey Brewer out of the shadows, you know, here's an opportunity for more touches for him and more opportunity. So I would see him being someone that could probably approach the 50% mark in the very near future as far as ownership.
Now, on the other side of that game, on Sunday for the Pacers, C.J. Miles, 28 points, 10 of 18 shooting, and, you know, it wasn't just a one-time thing either. You look at his averages, speaking of guys who are red hot over the past 4 games, averaging 20.5 points, 2.7 threes, 4.7 rebounds, and a steal. He's basically doing a little bit of everything, but is this too small of a sample size? Can he sustain this kind of production?
The one thing that you want to keep an eye on is that he could possibly replace the inconsistent Solomon Hill in the lineup in the immediate future. If that's the case, then Miles is going to have a little more value than the 15% ownership that he's in right now. He's streaky. And right now, it's a case where you just want to ride him while he's hot. If he does get the opportunity to replace Hill, you know, maybe you want to hold on to him a little more to see what he does with the increased minutes in the starting lineup. But right now, you know, he's a hot bench player, and it's a case where those guys get streaky for 4 or 6 games or so, and then you just suddenly tail off. And Miles has had some up-and-down performances. You know, he had the 30-point outing against the Clippers on December 10th, kind of cooled off a bit before the last 4 games. So, again, it just really defines what he is. He's a good guy in spurts.
All right, let's talk about a pair of big men who might be out there on the waiver wire as well. Let's start with Mason Plumlee. Against the Pistons last night, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 9 of 10 from the field. And again, we keep talking about hot players. Over the past 6 games, 18 points, 10.2 rebounds. Just seems like he's really coming into his own. But is this a flash in the pan? Is this who this guy is? Can he do this moving forward?
I think he could produce moving forward. It just really depends on how long Robin Lopez is out, and if he is able to keep that streak going. Even once Lopez returns, he's going to cut into Lopez's minutes. You've got to love a guy who's shooting 66% from the field in the last 6 games, so he's certainly going to give you wonders as far as your field goal percentage numbers are concerned. And again, he's has at least 8 rebounds in his last 7 games. 5 out of the last 6 games, he scored 18 points. He's at 54% ownership right now. So, yeah, he is definitely gaining a lot of attention. But the one negative with him is that he's such a poor free throw shooter. Wouldn't expect it from a guy who played his ball at Duke, just shooting just under 44% from the free throw line. So while you're getting good production from a rebounding, scoring, and also from a field goal percentage, that free throw percentage is going to your free throw percentage is going to suffer just a bit.
All right, now this is for much deeper leagues, obviously, but available in about 90% of leagues right now is Kyle O'Quinn, who was inserted into the Magic's starting lineup last night, and he's had a nice little run in the times when he's been able to play. Obviously more of a defensive guy. He's on the court for defensive purposes and for toughness, although it takes it a little bit too far sometimes, considering he's on the brink of a suspension for flagrants. But if you're in deep leagues, could this be a guy that you could scoop up and maybe get some blocks and some defensive numbers out of?
He's certainly worth the flyer. He got 4 blocks in 26 minutes in the loss to Philadelphia on Sunday night, 8.6 rebounds. He's probably going to get an extended look in the starting lineup. They're definitely disenchanted with what Channing Frye has done, especially on the defensive end. And if you look at Oakland's numbers this month, he has shown that he's capable of giving you some production if you give him more minutes. On December 2nd, 21 points, 11 rebounds against Golden State. Against Atlanta on December 12th, 14 points, 10 rebounds. He's a very intriguing guy. Yeah, and much deeper leagues, he is definitely someone you want to take a look at. Block shots, and it's definitely hard to get those when you find a ball player who can give you more than just blocks. So with O'Quinn, I would definitely take a flyer on him right now. It looks like he's going to get the increased minutes. And if he can give you more than just the blocks, if he can give you, say, 10 points, 6, 7 rebounds a game, that's definitely a plus from your for your front line.